Brian King here. I got a question from one of my Facebook friends that I figured I could weigh in on pretty straightforwardly. The question was, why wouldn't an adult take his or her ADHD meds, even though that same adult has declared, man, these meds sure help. Man, I sure feel better. And yet, this person still doesn't want to take the meds. And this can be true of children as well. So I thought about it a little bit. What are the different reasons why, in my experience or with, people that I've met over the years, why would they resist this so much? What's the hang up? And I came up with three. And by no means is this exhaustive, so I encourage you to chime in on this conversation as well. The first reason people would resist it is stigma. There's anything having to do with the brain or the way the brain works. If you need any kind of medication or any kind of help, you must be crazy. There must be something wrong with you. And that stigma alone can make people feel bad or inferior because they've been prescribed medication for some kind of mental health issue. And that stigma is just absurd. I haven't done the research to figure out where it started, but give me a break. The fact that people are imperfect and sometimes need some help in order to navigate their lives, and we should think less of them because they need to use a tool. Well, heck, all those people that are out there, wearing glasses like me, shame on them. They should be able to just squint or try harder, and they should be able to see 20/20 vision. This idea of mental health stigma, there's a big movement out there now to get rid of the stigma, and I'm behind that 1,000% because this is really, really ancient thinking that just needs to go bye-bye. So consider whether stigma is an issue. Have the conversation with the person that's resisting and ask them if they're afraid of being stigmatized if people are aware that they take medication to help them with their focus. The second reason people might resist this is because they're playing the comparison game. And this happens in kids a lot, Say, well, my classmates don't take medicine. I want to be just like my classmates. I want to be normal. Or for the adults, well, I bet you my buddy Joe doesn't need anything to help with his focus. And when you play the comparison game, you set yourself up in a win-lose scenario. They're better, I'm worse. They're successful, I'm a failure. They're normal, I'm not. And the reality is this: you're not normal. You're not like everybody else. You're an individual. That's how you were designed. You're not going to need the same tools in the same frequency, in the same order that other people will. You have similar needs as a human being, shelter, water, all that good stuff. But when it comes down to what makes you tick and what help you be more successful, you're going to have your own unique recipe. And, for me, it's my prescription for how messed up my eyes are, okay? These are my glasses. You put them on somebody else, they're going to see blurry because they're mine, okay? And I could feel disconnected from my peers. Nobody else has this prescription. There must be something wrong with me. You see how absurd that thinking is? And yet we get caught up in it and we believe it. So it's important for you to sit back and say, man, where did that conversation come from? Where on earth did I get this belief? And regardless of where it came from, question the decision to listen to it and decide that, man, this conversation's a bunch of BS. I don't want to listen to this anymore. And choose a new belief, a new conversation, such as, man, I am so glad the technology is out there to find the prescription that is just for me. I'm so glad that those researchers went in the lab and came up with this specific kind of medication that helps me focus and be more productive and less impulsive. And man, I can create so much more value for the world because of this. Attach a very positive, empowering story to taking it, as opposed to beating yourself up because you believe that you would somehow become inferior the moment you took that pill. Now, I want to just throw in here right now that the choice to use medication to manage ADHD is a choice. It's a personal decision. I do not take medication for my ADHD, but my three boys do. And they found it very, very beneficial. We've even asked them, do you feel better on it or off it? They prefer to be on it because they like what they can create and produce when they take it. So the last reason people might resist taking medication for their ADHD, even though they've declared that it does indeed help, is ego. In Western culture, we have this rugged individualism, this sense of independence, that we need to do everything by ourselves. I want to be able to focus by myself. I want to be able to be productive all on my own. I shouldn't have to rely on a pill. Really? Is that a global belief? That you don't want to have to rely upon anything outside you to be more productive? Because if it's a global belief, I am going to invite you to sell your car and start walking everywhere from now on. Okay? Because you want to do it by yourself. You want to be independent. You don't want to have to use something else outside yourself. I invite you to stop on your glasses and see the world through fuzzy eyes. Because you're independent. You shouldn't need something outside yourself. This glass that holds my water in every morning. I wish I didn't need this glass to drink my juice or my water. Couldn't we just move next to a river so I could slam my face in the water every time I wanted something to drink? You see where I'm going with this? For whatever reason, and maybe the stigma is talking here too, this belief that you shouldn't have to rely upon something outside yourself in order to function. Where do you think your food comes from? It comes from outside, then it goes inside, your body assimilates it, turns it into something useful, and you're able to live your life. So whether it's a car, your glasses, your food, a medication, we all rely upon different tools, some of them inside, some of them outside, to help us be more productive. And I want to leave you with this. Think of ADHD medication, or in my case, caffeine with my morning coffee. Think of it as glasses for your brain. And what do glasses do? They help bring everything into focus so you can see more clearly and experience more of the world. So when you're taking your medication, when I'm drinking my coffee, I'm putting on the glasses for my brain so that I can lead a more focused life. So Leah, who asked this question, I hope this answers it in some way. And if this has been helpful for you, please comment below and let me know what about it was helpful. And feel free to private message me if you want to process this any further. I'm here to help. And if there's anybody else you feel can benefit from this, feel free to share. I'm Brian King, and I'll be back later on today with another video. Take care.